Hi, fifth grade. Okay. Happy Tuesday. Today we will continue to learn about ratios in real world problems. And first, we're going to use models to find a ratio. Do you remember bar models? That's what we're going to use to help represent the situation, okay? So let's look at the example. It says Amy has 96 comic books and storybooks all together. She has 60 comic books. So let's see, how do I draw a bar model with that? Okay, so what kind of books does she have? Well, she has comic books and she also has storybooks. Okay, and for comic books, we know the amount that she has because it's given in the problem. How many comic books does Amy have? Amy has 60 comic books. Okay, how many storybooks does she have? Yeah, we don't know yet. Do we know the total of comic and storybooks? Yeah, it's given in the information. The total of comic and storybooks is 96. Okay? So look, I have a whole and then I have a part of a whole. With this information, can I find the number of storybooks Amy has? Yeah, we can, okay? So what we're going to do is comics, okay? We're gonna take the whole and then we're gonna subtract the part that we know. Oh, this is, I wanna find the number of storybooks, not comic books, okay? And so this becomes 36. So Amy has 36 storybooks, okay? Now let's look at the problem again and find what we need to find, okay? Obviously we needed to find the number of storybooks, okay? But am I done? Let's read. It says find the ratio of the number of comic books to the number of storybooks. So I like to write this out to remind me, oh, what the order is. So the number of comic books is 60, and then the number of storybooks is 36. Here's my ratio. But wait, I'm not done, am I? Because with ratios, just like with fractions, it's customary to always write it in simplest form, okay? So now I want to make this ratio in simplest form, so I should use division. I have to find a common factor or the greatest common factor and divide my first term by that and my second term by that, okay? So let's take a look and see what happens, okay? So let me see. What's a common factor that you see? Well, I see that I can divide the first and second term by 6. Okay, so this becomes 60 divided by 6 is 10, and 36 divided by 6 is 6. Ooh, this is still not in simplest form because I see right away, because they're both even numbers, I can divide by 2. All right, so 10 divided by 2 is 5, 6 divided by 2 is 3, okay? Okay, so this is my ratio in simplest form of comic books to storybooks. And this is the information that was given in the book and the way that they did it in the book. Okay, so you guys can take a look at that and pause the video if you need to. Okay. All right, so now I would like for you to complete guided practice number 7. Try it on your own and then replay the video when you're ready to check your answer. Okay. All right, welcome back. So the problem says Stanley collects stamps as a hobby. In his collection, he has 56 foreign and 196 US stamps. Okay. Oh, sweet. Okay, so let's see. What is the ratio for number 7? It says, what is the ratio of the number of US stamps to the total number of stamps? So let's see. We were given the number of US stamps, right? How many US stamps does Stanley have? And it's shown in the bar model, isn't it? Right? He has 196. Do we know the total number of stamps he has? No, that's not given. But we can find out that information, right? Because we know the number of foreign stamps he has. So we're going to add the number of US stamps with the number of foreign stamps, and that is 196 plus 56, which is 252. So the total number of stamps in Stanley's collection is 252. Now we're ready to set up our ratio. Remember, the order is the number of US stamps to the total number of stamps, which is 196 to 252. 196 to 252. Okay, so we need to simplify this. Okay, and how should we start? Okay, well, I see right away, I know I can divide by 2. That's a really small number to start with, right? Okay, so I'm going to do my extra work here. 196 divided by 2, 2, no, let's see, 2 times what gets to 19? 9 minus 18, that's a 1, drop to 6, 8, so minus 16 and 0, so then that would be 98, 2, and then what is 252 divided by 2, 1 minus 2, 5, 2, minus 4, 1, 2, 6, and then that's 126. Oh man, is there a better number for us? Well, I guess let's just try and divide it by 2 again. Okay, so again, you can just do it bit by bit if you can't find the greatest common factor right away. So 98 divided by 2 is, let's see, I'm going to erase this information at the bottom. 98 divided by 2, 2 times what gets to 9 or close to 9? 4, minus 8, 1, drop the 8, okay. 2 times what gets you to 18 or close to 18? Oh, 9, minus 18, 0. So then this is 49, and 126. 126 divided by 2, that's 6 minus 12, 0, and that's a 6. 2 times what gets you 6? That's a 3. Okay, and then so then it's 63. Am I done? Actually, I see something else. Okay, another common factor. Okay, of 7. So if I want to divide this by 7, divide that by 7. 49 divided by 7 is 7, and 63 divided by 7 is 9. Now I'm done because I see that there's no other common factor between 7 and 9 besides 1. So this is my simplified ratio, 7 to 9. So the total number of US stamps to the total number of stamps Stanley has is 7 to 9. Good job. You guys are getting it, okay? If I'm going too fast, please feel free to just pause the video, okay? And just go at your pace, all right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to find the other term given the ratio and one term. And you'll see what this means in the next example. Okay, so let's look at this. It says, Harold divides a carton of tomatoes into 2 portions. The ratio of the mass of the bigger portion to the mass of the smaller portion is 5 to 2. Okay, so there's a lot of information in this example, so I just want to kind of break it apart. Okay, so he has a carton of tomatoes and he divides it into 2 portions. So there's a bigger portion and then a smaller portion. So then the ratio of the bigger portion to the smaller portion, it says it's 5 to 2. Okay, so in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a bar model with these units. Okay, now do you remember when we were first learning about ratios? And also you could see in this previous example here, right? Like here, this is like 7 to 9. It was in simplest form, right? But this represents this top ratio here, 196 to 252, okay? Same thing with this here, okay? When we have our simplified form, 5 to 3, right? And then this represents 60 to 36, the actual numbers, right, of the comic book and storybooks here. Okay, now this can be represented as groups, the simplified form, because it's 5 groups to 3 groups. And the number inside each group has to be the same. Okay, and if you notice here, let's look at the simplified form. Okay, 5 to 3. Okay, and I want to get to the original ratio of 60 to 36. Okay, now my simplified form is 5 to 3, and I want to get to the original ratio of 60 to 36. So now my terms get bigger, so I have to multiply. What do I multiply 5 by to get 60? It's 12. And same thing here, 3 times 12 is actually 60, okay? So in here, this is 5 groups of 12 to 3 groups of 12, and that's the simplified form, okay? So taking that idea, okay, in here, the bigger portion is 5, and then the smaller portion is 2. But we can think of it as 5 groups to 2 groups, okay? And so I'm going to draw a bar model right now, okay? So 5 groups. So remember, when there's groups, it has to be of equal size. Okay, 4, 5. Then this one is 2, okay? And then this is the bigger group, and then this is the smaller group here, okay? And with the bigger group, okay, let me see, the mass of the bigger portion is 15 pounds, okay? So this here weighs 15 pounds, okay? And then it says, find the mass of the smaller portion here. Oh, I don't know this. Okay, so in here, we're given a ratio, okay? But we want to try to find one of the terms, right? The smaller portion here, okay? So let me see. How do I figure out what one of these units is, okay? Well, I'm given 15 pounds is equal to 5 equal groups, okay? To 5 units here, okay? So what we can do is we can write 5 units gets you 15 pounds, okay? Then how many does 1 unit get you, okay? Well, let's see. If I want to get 5 to 1, I divided it by 5, and whatever I do on one side, I have to do it on the other side here. What is 15 divided by 5 is 3. So 1 unit is 3. So this is 3, and this is 3. So how many pounds is a smaller portion? You can do 3 plus 3 or 3 times 2 or 2 times 3, which is 6. It's 6 pounds here. Okay, and that's the answer right there. Okay, and that's what they did. All right, but there's another way that we can set this up. Okay, so we're given the simplified form, right? 5 to 2, 5 groups and to 2 groups here, okay? And I'll do this in a different color, okay? So we're given 5 to 2. And then I know that in the bigger group, the actual amount of pounds is 15. And that's the first term, right? 15. But I don't know the second term here, which represents the smaller group. What is the actual number of pounds? Okay, so how do I get that? Well, let me see. 5 to 15, right? The first term 5 here, the first term 15 here. What do I need to do to get to 15? Does it get bigger or smaller from 5 to 15? It gets bigger, so I have to multiply. Okay, 5 times what gets you 15? 3. And whatever I do here, I have to do it on the other side. So 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so the answer here is 6 pounds. So there's 2 ways to solve it. You can use a bar model, or you can just set up the ratios like this. Okay. All right. So now it's your turn. Okay. Pause the video and give it a try. Take your time, okay? You're not under the clock. And when you're ready, please play the video again. Welcome back. All right, so let's look at this problem. Mrs. Gardner has the milk she is going to use to make a smoothie and a shortcake in 2 portions. The ratio of the volume of portion 1 to the volume of portion 2 is 3 to 4. Okay, so again, it is not talking about like, oh, it's 3 milliliters to 4 milliliters, right? It says it's a ratio. And with ratios, sometimes we'll get the exact number, and other times it just represents like equal groups, okay? And so in this case, I know it represents equal groups because look at the next sentence after the red underlined sentence. It says the volume of the portion 1 is 120 milliliters, okay? So method 1, they're using the bar model, okay? So portion 1 above the bar model there, the total is 120. So I'm gonna put that there. And how many units is equal to 120? There's 3 units, right? So if 3 units is equal to 120 milliliters, okay, how do I get to 1 unit? Okay, well, I'm gonna do 3 to 1, like 3 changes into 1. Does it get bigger or smaller? It gets smaller, right? So I should divide. Okay, so I'm gonna divide by 3, because 3 divided by 3 is 1, okay? So whatever I do on this side, I have to do it on the other side, okay? What's 120 divided by 3? Okay, so if you're unsure, we can do it here. Okay? 3 times something does not equal 1. 3 times something can equal 12 is actually 4. Drop the 0. 3 times what gets you 0 is a 0. 0. Okay, so then this is actually 40. Okay, so 1 unit is 40 milliliters. Then how many is 7 units? Then you have to do 7. So 1 unit is 40. Okay, now you want to get to 7 units. Okay, 7 units is how many? So now we're going to change 1 unit to 7 units. So does it get bigger or smaller? It gets bigger. So we gotta multiply. We're gonna multiply 1 by 7 to get 7. 1 times 7 is 7. And what do I need to do here? I have to do the same thing that I did there. So I'm gonna multiply that by 7, okay? And, ooh, I like this, okay? So 7 times 40, okay? I like this because I remember multiplication, okay? When I have a number that ends in a 0, I just take the preceding numbers before that 0 and I multiply the single digit, okay? So what I'm saying is this, okay? I'm going to just take 7 times 4, okay? 7 times 4 is 28. Then I add however many trailing zeros I have here. It's 280. So 7 units is equal to 280 milliliters, right? And they have 7 because you're trying to find the total, okay? The total is the units in portion 1 plus the units in portion 2, which make 7 units, okay? And there it is. Now again, you can do it method 2's way, okay, by setting up the known parts in the ratio, okay? So the original ratio, okay, which was in simplified form was 3 to 4, okay? And then, in portion 1, it was actually 120 milliliters, okay? But you don't know portion 2, okay? So 3 to 120, it gets bigger and you have to multiply it by 40. 3 times 40 is 120. Then you have to do the same thing here. 4 times 40 is 160, okay? So this is just for portion 2, right? Okay, and then remember here, this term is for portion 1. Okay, so now the total is equal to portion 1 plus portion 2, okay, which is equal to 120 plus 160, which is equal to 280 milliliters. Okay. All right, good job. Okay, if you have any questions, no worries. Let's talk about it and work on it on Thursday during our go-to meeting session, okay? All right, see you Thursday. Bye. Have a good day. Have a super day.